Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are grinding at Le Mans, but not for the group race, the custom race. We're grinding because of these are excess cars that never made the cut. We actually had them readied up, but they weren't in the first 20 selected. That is by no means disrespect to the cars. Each and every one of these cars is capable and certainly could have fit into the race. This was one for Mr. Gallo, but he got the Honda Civic, I'm afraid. The NSX was probably more to his tune, so let's take a look at the tune. This one comes in at 699.94. It's on racing hard tyres. It's got 603 brake horsepower, so not a slouch by any means. It does have an engine swap, which is the HR414E NSX. This is from the 2017 or 2019 NSX. Fully customizable suspension, nothing changed. Fully customizable rear diff set to 555. Downforce tuned, of course, to hit the target, so 95 on the front, 270 on the rear. It's got front, side, but no rear, and it's also got the highest available rear wing, but it's not the 20 with end plates, I'm afraid. Not available on this car. ECU set to 100. With that being the case, there's no adjustments, there's no performance, no detune of the car. Gear is set to 320, and of course we potentially could be running this at fuel map 6 to try and do a no stop. Depends on the weather. We'll have to see what the rain spits out. We'll have to see whether the tyres actually can handle it. No turbo, well, it's the normal turbocharger with no upgrade. It's got racing slotted discs and racing pads. Everything else in that column is default. You could put on the anti-lag if you so wanted, but it reduces the car. Racing clutch and flywheel. It's got weight reduction 1 installed and the increased body rigidity. There are no other engine mods available. Let's go to the track. So here we are at the Le Mans circuit. This is the 24 hours du Mans, but only 30 minutes of it. Settings will be assist, traction control 1, default ABS. We have ASM on and counter steer assistance on strong. Controller settings will be controller steering sensitivity 5, 4-speed back max torque 5, 4-speed back sensitivity 6. I'm using a G29. They're my personal settings. They could be personal to you and you could use your own settings. Let's dump straight into this one, folks. Weather-wise, nothing on the rain radar. It doesn't show us anything. Not much in transition. Don't know what the grey stuff means. I guess that's going to come out in the next update. We'll dive straight in. Here we go then, folks. Fuel map 6. Brake balance all the way to the front. Fuel's going to last twice as long as the tyres. The tyres will be the limiting factor, I would suggest. It's a beautifully clear day. We have the potential, if the tyres will go long enough, to do a no-stopper. We'll just have to see what happens with the rain and at what lap we might have to pit for tyres. A single pit stop for wet weathers or inters would definitely indicate a second stop, but we're not going to have to pit for fuel. Look, 7.2 laps. See where we get to. We're in 15th place, entering the Mulsanne straight. Short shifted up to 5th. Going to break on the telegraph pole just before the 200. Catching up to Mr. Gallo in the car that has the same engine as this. Mr. Lopez up into 8th place. Mr. Mendoza, we'll see if we can catch you before the halfway point. Oh, it looks like we will. We're in your slipstream. Take you on the inside. Mr. Yamanaka, Mr. Kawakami, you're next on the list. Trying to make the overtake round the outside stick. Mr. Healy quite far up the tree today. Normally in 6th or 7th place when we get to here. 5.7 seconds behind the leaders. Let's see if we can get somewhere near the front before the end of the lap. Oh, rather brutal turning at high speed. Just have to be cautious. Will this be something of a 4.0 opening lap on fuel map 6? Have we got a chance of being somewhere near the leaders? They are absolutely caning it though, aren't they? I think we're just going to be like a 4.04 maybe as we come across the line. Maybe just outside that. A 4.05. Still a pretty decent outlap for fuel map 6. Rear tyres just showing the most. Miss McEwen in second, Mr. Portilla in first. We're just going to try and reel them back in. Back on the Mulsanne straight, lining up Miss McEwen for the overtake. At 175 mile an hour we start that and complete it 184, charging down to the braking point on lap 2. Probably a little bit early, so we sponge the brakes in. Oh, we sneeze mid-corner. Oh, please forgive me. I'll see if I can edit that out. Oh, that hurt my chest. Break at the final point. We're in first place now, a second ahead of Mr. Portilla. We have raced these guys thousands of times. This video actually leads us into a bit of a special. We're going to do a kind of different video in the next race. For those of you who watch this and get this far, you'll be excited to know we're going to reenact a film, or we're going to attempt to find a way of doing it. How does Ford versus Ferrari sound? On the back of a request from a watcher for the Mark IV Ford, or the GT Mark IV, or whatever you want to call it. We will pitch the two cars together on a single video. There'll be no commentary from the racing position. there'll be a single commentary from a head-to-head race to see which car wins. They'll be both on a similar type tune. We won't be matching power to weight, we'll be matching the 700 pp, and we'll attempt to bring you a Ford versus Ferrari kind of situation, where see if we can enact that famous race at Le Mans. Would be absolutely superb, wouldn't it? In my opinion anyway. We'll see how it goes down. Might as well call the video Ford versus Ferrari. Whether it's the real cars that actually did the race, we're just going to do the matching years, the P330 67 versus the Mark IV 67, and we'll see what happens. We don't know whether we'll get the same weather. We aren't actually looking at the rain here, are we? On to lap 2. On to lap 3. Have a look at the weather radar. We do have rain coming in, but it looks like we're going to be good. Probably stopping at the end of 3. So that was a 4:07 that second lap. .7 seconds in the lead. There's still a possibility, you know, that there's an 8th lap on here. It doesn't look very favourable. See if we can get around this circuit before the real bad stuff comes in. It doesn't look too severe at this time. The rain will just be starting now. I can feel it, I can hear it. It's on the rain gauge. Depth gauge, one would say. We're purple on the lap timer. So the fastest lappers with us are 4:07.267. We are being hotly pursued. They're only 11 seconds behind us. Let's see where we can go. No real threat of any particular heavy stuff. It's just persisting down, isn't it? It looks like we're gonna have to pit the tyres anyway. I think they'll only probably go 6 laps, but I wonder if this rain is going to be more threatening. Stamp on the brakes a bit there, slow it down. 555 rear diff really keeps this car in check. Into 5th at 172. What's it looking like? Where's the rain clouds? It looks really quite heavy up front, doesn't it? I think we're going to get a bit of a blasting from this next cloud. It might put us to the point where we need to go in and get the tyres early. Yeah, here it comes now. We're just going to have to be a bit cagey. And it looks like we've got some colour coming in the clouds as well, so I definitely think we're in for a pit manoeuvre this lap. 13 seconds in the lead. just got to be careful. These hard racing tyres are not the primary tyre at this moment in time. I'd be inclined to believe, no, it's just about to hammer it down. Look at that green coming in. Now we have to nip to the pits. It's only going to get heavier by the looks of it. We're going to take the wets. Yeah, we're not going to take any fuel. There's absolutely no need. So we're just going to splash and dash. Not even a splash. We're going to change wheels and dash. 16 seconds ahead of Mr. McEwen. Mr. Portilla in third. Mr. Yamanaka fourth. Kawakami fifth. McEwen is in. Healy in sixth. Dropped back to his usual position. Mr. Blazen in seventh. Mr. Sugawara in eighth. Australia, New Zealand, and Japan prominent in the leaderboard. Be nice to see where the rain has developed. Those titanium tip exhausts look really quite fetching on that green yellow paint. I think we might have made the right choice looking at the rain that's to come. Look at that green and yellow in that cloud there. We've definitely made the right choice. "22 seconds in the lead then. So we've sort of doubled that lead at this point. 24 seconds. Don't know what tyres they've taken. Gonna brake a little early. Don't think we'll get to 200. Steady the car up without losing it. The end of the rain cloud is there, look. But I don't think we'll have ever got through it running in on the racing tyres. I don't think that would have been a wise move. This car slowed down. We're up to 47 seconds. There's a bit of shenanigans going on back at that chicane back there. Oh, and here it comes. Absolutely blasting down. It looks like we made the right choice as nobody's got past that chicane yet. Mr. Healy is up into second. Just making sure we get round this corner in one piece. Mr. Healy no longer in second place. We're in extremely wet weather. With that, we're going to change the traction control down to 5 just to be able to manage this. There's the rain radar again. We're going to come off the throttle well before the corner. Let's just get this round the corners. Deal with it correctly. That looks like the end of the heavy stuff. The car is skating all over the place. Definitely looks like a second lap on the wets. Get it slowed down. Make this corner appropriately. 1:21 in the lead. Just running the wall a little bit hard. The rain is still definitely in wet condition for the tracks. We do have the wet tyres on, which was the right call. The question is, did these boys and girls take the wet weather tyres, or did they gamble? The sky looks to be really clearing up. Traction control really struggling there. 4:50 with the outlap. We're going to be pitting, I think, at the end of this lap to remove these wet tyres. The track's going to start forming a dry line. Oh, there is rain coming in. Can you see it on the far west side of the map? Our headlights really picking up the shine on the circuit. And it looks to be fairly torrid conditions ahead. Doesn't look like we're going to be able to pit in and change these tyres. It looks like we're going to have to keep them on. The track really isn't drying out at all. So just as we manoeuvre these corners, I'll give you a rundown of who's in the lead. We are leading by 1:29, fastest lap of the race, a 4:07 when it was drier conditions. Yeah, the track is definitely starting to dry up. Mr. Mangiano in second, Mr. Cato in third, Cookabun in fourth, Hayward fifth, Kevelam sixth, Healy in seventh, Lopez in eighth. Healy not doing too bad after his spin into chicane number one. It looks like we have congestion further down the pack though. Just been a little bit cautious. We can see a definitive dry line. Really starting to pick up, but we've got this heavy looking rainstorm coming. We don't want to make too early a decision on what we're going to do with tyres. 10 minutes to go. We're on lap 5. It looks like this rain might have prevented the 8th lap, which we all need to pray for, to be honest. Who needs an 8th lap? Just about to enter some really horrific weather again. It looks like the second portion of rain is going to be really quite a storming rain downpour. It's a green and yellow band we're about to hit. The track is really wetting up again. Rears were just starting to cut up then. Just about to hit a torrential section of what feels and sounds like hail. Straight through the middle of that yellow section. It's the heaviest rain we've ever had at this race. This car's handling it beautifully though. outside looks like a break in the rain for the last 5 minutes. Coming round to finish lap number 5. Another 4-minute 40, 4-minute 45 sort of lap time. The traction control really helping to calm down the back of this car. We are 1-minute 42 ahead as the rain continues to pummel us. But we can see what looks like the break. It looks like the end of that front coming through on the radar. We can see that on the clouds above us. I think they've really got that well represented. Looks like we're gonna be tackling the fastest part of the circuit in the wet again. These rears are holding it together, but just starting to show a little bit of break up on the surface. And out comes the sun. The track immediately starts to dry up. This is going to be good and clear to the end, one hopes. See if we can find a dry section on the centre of the track. Braking early. Car pulled severely to the left, but we managed to hold it. Back to the middle of the track, get the power down and go. 6 minutes remaining. There's a hope that we're going to get in and get back onto the hard tyres. I think the track will be pretty dry when we get round to the pits again. There's just spots where it really is quite deep. The helicopters are not out again. They will be around very soon, one would expect. Looks like we might have got some tang going up in just past the pit lane. Get the car slowed down into this corner. It's starting to come back in favour of the race tyres. Mr. Lopez has pitted with wets on, so they did pit for rain tyres. Back off. Rear tyres just starting to slide about now. Still a smidgen wet. These tyres aren't going to last another lap. We're going to have to pit in and take them off. I'm 100% sure of that. We're not going to be able to finish this at the end of lap 6. 1 minute 56 ahead with 3 minute 30 remaining. We're not going to get these tyres to last the next lap, so let's pit in. Are we going to finish on inters? 1 lap on inters it looks like. Going to take the inters, no fuel. We've got plenty of fuel. 1 minute 57 ahead, 1 minute 58 ahead of the field. We're going to take these wets off, replace them with a set of inters, a set of cut tyres. There they are, waiting to go on. And away we go, no need for fuel. Track in the pit lane is still exceedingly wet. Still wet on the track. Bit slidey. We do expect these tyres to cut up a bit over this lap, because it will be a drying track. But what we're banking on here is we've picked the right car for when we miss the dry line and run onto the wet line. We know that's going to be a real issue. Just like there. 1 minute 57 ahead. There'll be definitely a certain amount of the field, probably after 8th place, not making the 7th lap. Certain parts of this track are still very wet. Some people already had the IMs on. That's a shocker. No rain on the radar now. 2.6 on the fuel map. There's the chopper hovering low over the track. Look how much these rears are cutting up. We're gonna just blast down the main circuit. The helicopter there trying to blow the water off the track. We know he wasn't trying to do that. It's just where he was positioned, in among the trees. 1 minute 23 ahead. 20 seconds left on the race clock. This is definitely going to be the final lap. The sun blazing down in the late afternoon. I think Mr. Kawakami and Mr. Lopez are going to cross that finish line in the pits. There they are, Mr. Bishop, Mr. Yamanaka now finished the race. So, are we disappointed that this car didn't make it to the final set? Well, the honest opinion is, folks, is I tested this beforehand, knowing I had a choice of two cars, and I couldn't put into the race, the one I tried, any car that didn't do 240 mile an hour. Putting this against the Silvia, and then putting the Silvia against this would be a no-stopper in the hands of the AI. It would be a one-stopper in the hands of the AI. They'd burn all the fuel, and it would be an exceedingly quick race, especially if there was no rain. We would have so much trouble holding it together, trying to keep up with that. So a bit of fixing went on, I'm afraid, but we're allowed to do that because we're making telly, aren't we? Really, we're creating the scene, so couldn't really be beaten, and I knew I'd have a real tough chance against Mr. Gallo in this car. So here we go then, crossing the line. The final lap of 4 minutes 27, and we finish way clear of the rest of the field. A very capable car, and it was purely the fact that I came to it very late in the process, even though I'd had some suggestions earlier on that we should use this car. We did do 4 or 5 engine swaps in the very last episodes, and it was just another engine swap we were bringing to the party. So a 31.49. Everybody up to position 6 was lapped. Look, absolutely stunning. We did get the fastest lap of the race, not particularly quick, 4:07.267, but that was on fuel map 6. Putting this on fuel map 1 would have definitely put this in the 4.0s, maybe the 3:55s, but still not as fast as the Sylvia. So as an overall view, this would have been my number 2 car, I think, but by default it missed out because I was always going to take the Sylvia at 240 mile an hour. But there we have it, folks. A very capable grind car, and if you want to go and do laps and do it, it will earn you good money. As you can see, we've spent 4 million since the last video, and we're able to do that because we've always got cash in the bank. Well, there you have it, folks. The NSX 92 engine swap with the NSX 17 engine. It is an absolute treat. Very, very capable. Fuel map 6 makes it manageable, but it's up to you what you do. This is your game to play. Play it how you feel. If you think that setup needs a tweak, give it a tweak. We just give you the platform to go and play with. But as with everything, it's up to you. We'll see you on the next one. All the best. Take care. On fuel map 1. So we're going to wind it up to fuel map 1 and go all the way. We're about to go into first place. We can see that already, can't we? We go to the outside of Mr. Portilla, come to the inside of Miss McEwen. Just going to slow down just. That first outlap at 4 minutes is pretty good. So let's see where we get to at the breaking point, which we're going to call the lamppost before the 200, 2:08. And we go in there very hot. Don't like that. Just coming into that thick green and yellow. See if we can get it round these corners at a relatively perambled speed. No good.